There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
And black screen, great way to start. It should be coming in any second. Normally it does, but welcome to round 8 of the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series, coming to you from the one and only Fuji circuit in Japan. I'm John Van Ree. With me tonight, I don't have Mark Duggan, who's off on leave, which is well deserved, but I do have Scott Gamble with me. How are you, Scott?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Mark, and looking forward to tonight here at Fuji. It's going to be a cracking race. I was just having a little look at the track temp. It's up a little bit, so it's going to be interesting how it plays out tonight, mate.
Yeah, just want to quickly throw that on the screen so everyone else can see it. Yeah, it's already 31 degrees on circuit, 18 degree air temp. Of course, I think track state's pretty much copying what's going on in real time over in that part of the world, being winter. Be very interesting to see how it fluctuates throughout the night. Might just have a quick look at this circuit, Mark. Quick look at this circuit, Scott, and just go through it. It is, of course, one of the longest straights in iRacing as we head down into turn 1, the aptly named first corner, and then we come sweeping down through turn 2 into the left-handed Coca-Cola. And then we go through what corner that's pretty tough on the tyres, the old 100R through turns 4 and 5, and then got to pull the car up into the hairpin. After the hairpin, we sweep out through 7 and 8 through the corner known as 300R and into turn 10, the Dunlop curve, where the track hooks and turns uphill. We're not running the chicane tonight, so we're going straight up the hill into turn 11, and then we continue to climb up the hill through turns 12 and 13 through the Nets complex, and then through the aptly named turn 14 Panasonic corner back onto the start-finish straightaway. It is a very tricky little circuit to get 100% right, but it is also going to be a circuit where I think the draft will have a lot to do with what happens.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, John. I'd be very surprised if these drivers and teams haven't worked hard here to run a little bit less aero than say some of the other tracks, and we'll be looking to use that draft to their advantage tonight.
Yeah, definitely a fair bit to play for, as well as we might just have a quick look, if we can, at the championship table. We might start with the overall sheet, which has just popped up on the screen there now. So, of course, James Scott, Dylan Rudd, the Lobs boys, definitely well and truly in control of the overall championship, with Sean McNamara and Jacob O'Reilly sitting in 3rd and 4th, and them two are the ones that are leading our ticket holders. Bearing in mind there's only 34 points separating McNamara and O'Reilly, and then there is a further 45 points going back to Connor Nixon. So a bad night from O'Reilly could see Nixon slip in and get that golden ticket. And then, of course, Cam Jones is down in 6th. 7th is Craig Schultz from 95 Sim Sports. Alan Dawson in 8th. Blanchard in 9th. Tom Freer in 10th. So that rounds out our overall positions. And if we go over the page and have a look at the pro positions, we've got, of course, James Scott, Dylan Rudd, McNamara, O'Reilly, Nixon, Cam Jones in 6th. Craig Schultz doing well for 9.5 and 7th, with O'Shea in 8th, Tom Freer in 9th, and Robbie Gibbs from Evolution Racing Team rounding out the 10. Go to the Super 2 battle. This is going to be a tight contest tonight. Alan Dawson and Chris Blanchard separated by 6 points. So that'll be the one to keep a close eye on. Of course, 6 points is really only a couple of positions. And then in third, we've got Troy Stonestreet from WK&P, and he's not really that far behind Blanchard. So Blanchard has a bad night. Stonestreet could easily move himself into the top, higher on the pedestal of the top three. Dave Coleman, Fishy Motorsports in fourth, Peter Pavlik in fifth, Jonathan Gallen in sixth, Tim Mulford seventh, Simon Chadwick eighth, Ty Delaney, the minnow himself, in ninth, and Russell Gander in 10th. And then let's have a look at the veteran class. And, of course, Sean McNamara leading that with 11.84 from Blanchard on 11.78. Peter Pavlich from Pacific Esports in third. Troy Stonestreet 2 points behind in fourth. So Stonestreet will be looking to get a nose in front of Blanchard, and Pavlich here. And then Gallen, Visma, you, Scotty, not racing tonight, of course, but in with me. Russell Gander, Damien Cross in ninth, and Greg Sharp from WK&P in 10th. And that rounds out where everybody sits at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot to play for there. The points are tight. Like you said, if there's one bad round here, that could really see him tumble down the list, especially a DNF. That's really going to change it up. So I think the guys are going to be looking to play it a little safe, work together, try and hold it together and get to the end and get a good bag full of points tonight and secure the golden ticket, and also through the different categories here, which is a new feature to East Coast this series, John, which is I think it's been well received.
Yeah, I think it has. It's been quite interesting calculating all the figures out for everybody so that we get a great image of it. Entries, I believe, for next season are just about full. A good mix of new drivers coming in again. So the series really is taking off with this split Super 2, Pro and Veteran series. I know the Vets guys that did sign up this season were a little bit off-put when we had to switch the schedule up to suit the Pro Series drivers or the guys doing the Quali Series. But next season we'll be back to following Vets. So it'll be good for them, I think.
Yeah, I do. I think it's one of these things that, especially for the Vets drivers and Super 2 guys, to be able to race with the likes of James Scott, Jordan Ross, Gibbs, O'Reilly, these are all big names within the V8 supercar community, and to be able to race with them on track, see how they go about it, it's only going to make your growth as a driver better, and it's good to rub shoulders with them on track, from time to time.
Yeah, it definitely is. Dylan O'Shea cooking some tyres up there. It is very good for those guys to have that ability. And I think one of the other big things too is that there's a lot of guys over at Vets wanting to be running open sets and unlimited dynamic tracks. Well, no, we're offering that for them over here at East Coast.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. It gives it a whole different perspective, and the guys that do that do come in from Vets into East Coast, they're going to benefit from it. They're going to learn a little bit more about tyre management, instead of the cold, fixed temperatures that we run over at Vets. And like you say, dynamic track, it's evolving. You've got to bring your tyres back if you cook them a little bit and manage it. And they're just going to become better drivers for it. And yeah, I look forward to watching those that are in East Coast throughout next season and where they go within the V8 Vets itself races. I think we'll see a few start to push forward, John.
Oh, I think so too. I think their driving abilities and car handling abilities are only going to get better as they progress further with this series. It's interesting, great conversation with Jamie McKnight, who does the setups and stuff for Vets on Friday night, and Vets purely is about cold tracks, easy to drive setups for 144 drivers across 3 different splits. It's not about setups for split 1 drivers. It's about setups for everybody. It's about a fixed track temperature, fixed track state, so that it's drivable for everybody and everybody can just enjoy racing in the Vets environment.
Well, you're right there. That's what Vets was originally built on. And change is always difficult. I know there's been quite a lot of input into it, and I've given some as well, but at the end of the day, they're all suggestions. There's no bad suggestions, but the founding start of that veteran series was the cold track fixed sets, and that's what sort of makes it, because people can jump in, you know, they can do one night's practice, they can do other series, and then jump into that race with like-minded people and of similar age group and abilities within the split, and have a good time, John.
Yeah, it's amazing how many blokes you talk to that just rock in on a Thursday night. Maybe me, because I'm too busy broadcasting and doing other things. Rock in on a Thursday night at 7:45, jump in, turn 10 laps, and they're ready to race. You know, where you haven't got time to develop sets and the rest of it. So anyway, we've got a race here coming up. Just about the end of this practice session. We're running 5 minutes late tonight due to a technical issue going into setup of the server. But we're definitely about to get going soon. Some interesting names. Jacob O'Reilly's still sitting top of the sheets.
He's really fast here, John, and has been improving over the last 4 or 5 rounds. Like, he's showing some real consistency, Jacob O'Reilly, and he's one to watch in the future.
Definitely. And we got Cube Racing's Scotty Van Loon in the chat, not racing tonight because he's about to get on a burn at a Bali tomorrow morning, first thing. It's half his luck. I think last time he went over there and got a tattoo, he ended up bloody stuck over there with poisoning in his leg. So good luck, Scotty, on that one.
Yeah, you have fun.
And of course, Pato in the chat as well. And Big Barry tonight. Haven't seen Big Bazzer out there for a fair while. Some say he's been hanging out with Terry Taylor a bit too much. As we're about to get into qualifying.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Track temps up at 30.6 degrees. The wind 9.7 to the southwest. So they're going to have that little bit of breeze down that straight behind them, which will be interesting. Give them a little bit more top end speed. So I've been looking here to see which teams are going to be working together, John, in here to really maximise that straight and push some of the ones who are in with a chance further forward on this leaderboard tonight.
Yeah, you're probably expecting the likes of Dylan O'Shea to be in there helping Sean McNamara. And then, of course, the Vermilion boys have been quite strong in packs with Flashbomb in there joining them as well this season at the end here. So keep an eye out for those lads. Definitely going to be an epic battle. Big shout out to Pete Keller here. Just reading his comment. That's your excuse for sandbagging Team SSR. I don't think I'd throw any sandbags on Team SSR. I think Jordan does that well enough himself.
Another name that's joined the 9-5 Sim Sports, Thomas Freeman. He might play a little role tonight as well. He has really good race pace, so be interesting to see how he goes with his new team there over at in the Racecraft Library, John. And yeah, be keeping an eye on him and see how he goes.
Yes, there he is on screen there, running the RSW graphics logo on the side of the car, representing 9-5. Getting a formidable team going into the Pro Series.
A very strong team over there at 9-5, and yeah, Sean's done a brilliant job with them. So I think they've got about 16, maybe 18 drivers. Will do a little bit of GT racing as well, but predominantly in the V8's.
Yes, as these lads are starting to just about get themselves up forward. We might just jump down, see where James is. James got his lap going. Mr. Scott, our championship leader. I think it would take a very shocking evening for him to be knocked off the pedestal here.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to beat. And with his teammate Dylan Rudd, they're a formidable team over there at Lobby Sports, and they've been showing it not only here and also within the qualifying series. They've been absolutely dominant.
Yeah, they've done quite well. Big shout out to Jared Philsell in the chat as well. The man leading the qualifying series at the moment. He's probably on watching to see what he can learn from James and Dylan Rudd.
I'd be interested if Jared's even going to race tomorrow night, because he doesn't have to. He's that far ahead. He's won all 3 races so far. He doesn't even need to turn a lap.
You got to go to clean sweep. So definitely looks like he's on a relatively good lap here, James. As comes out of Panasonic, heading down the start-finish straight. And crosses the line, and he's not going to go quicker. Mitchison goes P1, Scott goes P1 again, so he tops it off. James Scott with a 1:34.9. He gets himself out of Luke Mitchison, which is a bit of a surprise. I know O'Reilly jumps in there now. Great
Very
effort.
close to the top there.
Great effort from Luke, though, to get himself up into that top 5. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's running a Synergy livery.
He is. Is that? Well, there you go.
So that is another
weird.
one. He is. It's another surprise turn up. They've kept that one quiet. Track temps 31 degrees, Jared. So they've kept that one fairly quiet, Jordan. Is this going to go on top of the leaderboard? O'Reilly, he's gotten in front of Scott by 2 hundredths of a second. That is a great little effort there. Mitchison in third.
Yeah, Nixon's up to P4. Gibbs will be looking to push on, but yeah, Freeman's up there as well. So there's quite a few guys very tight within that top 5. There's a couple of tenths separating them all. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the second or third quality lap goes, and be interesting to see whether the teams start working together to get that extra couple of tenths.
Yeah, you'd have to think that they would be looking at doing that. And I believe Jamie Dyke has snuck into the server as well. So just a few interesting names dropping in here at the last minute tonight.
Surprisingly, Jordan Ross down in P12 at the moment with a 35.691. Be expecting to see him push on.
Yeah, I'd be expecting that, definitely. The old Ross the Boss has a fair bit of work to do here. So Dyke's got himself into 10th. Dan Hall's on track at the moment. He's not going any quicker this time through. Looks like he might be heading off to the pit lane. We might jump on with Connor Nixon. He's on a lap at the moment, I believe.
Oh, yes, he is, yep. People who haven't set a lap: Sean McNamara, Tom Freer, Troy Stonestreet, Craig Schultz, so Brady Baldwin. So there's a few big names to push ahead here and get themselves up on that leaderboard.
Yeah, definitely need a bit of work. Jordan Ross, surprise one, down in 12th. He'd be looking for the practice here tonight to get himself going for the pre-qual tomorrow night. It's just going to jump on board with Jacob O'Reilly from Vermeulen Motorsports. He's got the train in front of him. Or behind him, sorry. He's got his teammate and looks like James Scott.
Yeah, he's got a good train following himself here. They all know he's fast, so they're all like, yep, let's get on behind and let's take us around. Take us around the lap of Fuji.
And he is away. Evening, Terry. How are you, mate? Glad you come to join us. Got a few away on leave this week. But still got reasonable numbers, mate. Like most series, they dwindle at the very end when they realise they can't win.
or they come and commentate, John.
Oh, now, Mark was white. I didn't kick him out. So Riley here, looking quite balanced. Looks like he's got a relatively good setup.
Yeah, that does look nice and stable on track at the moment.
Back with officials next season, Terry. I believe the officials will be picking up the weeks when the Pro Series is on, so that should cover that off quite well.
Yeah, I have to apologise if I'm not reading the chat, John.
Nah, you're right, Scott.
I forgot my two-factor authentication to get into Google, so it's something to do another time.
Oh, it's getting harder and harder, all that, isn't it?
Oh, need a separate book for it all, mate.
Oh, I've got two-factor authentication with work now. One of my work iPads, and it's just a nightmare every time I touch it. As they come across the line, let's see if anyone goes quicker. Vlasbom's gone quicker. James Scott's got on top, and so is Mitchelton. Got on top of O'Reilly as well. Gibbs up in there. So these boys now will all be hurrying back to get another crack at it. Terry Taylor's going to give you a pass, Scotty, for not racing.
Thank you very much, Terry. It's good to be behind and in here with John, and while Mark's away enjoying his holiday, the lucky bloke. I'm sure he'll come back with plenty of stories to be able to share coming season 10, is it, John?
Yeah, season 10. Hard to believe, done 10 seasons of broadcasting East Coast. Got such loyal fans like Terry Taylor, loving it. Gets us back again next year.
There might come a time where we can identify the Terry Taylor and instead of hiding behind it, doesn't. But anyway.
Adam Briggs in the chat saying he's not keen on Fuji. It's not to like on the track where Sebastian Vettel won his first F1 race. As they all duck in for their final attack on pit lane. Might just have a look how Stone Street's getting on. He's sitting down in 21st. And the other name we need to have a look for, Alan Dawson. He's in 25th. Blanchard in 26th. So that Super 2 battle definitely a live and well. Another shot in the arm for those guys. Coleman's actually jumped him. So Coleman's sitting up there in 24th. It's Toy Stone Street in 21st is leading a bit there. But the big surprise for our Super 2 guys at the moment is Simon Chadwick again in 14th. So he is definitely coming back and finding the groove that he used to have, which has been great to see.
He has got some time there. He's got a good 4/10 over the other Super 2 guys at the moment. But I think Chris Blanchard from WK&P, I think he'd be looking to push forward on that time a little bit more. So very close between him and Dawson, which is very close in the championship, 6 points for those two. It may not be the Pro Series or the golden ticket, but it is just as important for these guys to cement their spot, get their name down in that part of history. So looking forward to how that plays out tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing. Go back in. It's qualifying that spot where you can put those 3 or 4 cars between you and Dawson, which helps you manage the rest of the evening. So it shows how critical it actually can be. That and surviving the drama in the first lap. Of course, these boys.
One's going to be very interesting, John.
And we can see the Congo line now is getting very interesting.
Yes. Everyone's banking up.
And So I'll just stay with this here, Robbie Gibbs, our man sitting in fourth at the moment. He's trying to get onto those coattails of James Scott, I think.
Yeah, if there's drivers out there that you want to be behind, it is the likes of the guys from the Lobby Sports, James Scott, Jared Fussell. You want to be behind them coming your quality lap because they very rarely ever make a mistake, if ever. And you know they're going to be fast. You might not be able to go with them, but they will help you somewhere along that track, and you might be able to see their lines as well.
Oh.
James says, I don't want it.
No. Nice little move out of the way.
Yeah, he done that well.
He did that very well. And they are now away on their lap. This will be their last shot. They've only got another 45 seconds. Get across the line. So just looking backwards, car 31 is John O'Gallen. He'll probably be the last one to get across. Let's just jump on board with Robbie Gibbs for a minute as he stares down this track all in front of him. As we go through Coca-Cola. The 100R corner.
A key there, John, was Chris Blanchard managed to cross the start-finish line.
He did. Awesome.
He did.
Through 300R now into Dunlop. Over the curve. You boys ran wide. They're looking at that one. You've got to get this one right. You don't want to go wide coming out of here. Those yellow sausage curves will rip the base of the car out. Based on previous races we had here with Vets. Nicely through nets now into Panasonic. What can Gibbs do? Can Gibbs get himself up out of fourth? Gets on the gas.
Yeah, looks like he's got a nice run here.
And so does the boys behind. So let's see what the timing tower does. And Gibbs doesn't improve. Damien Johnston's gone up one. Scott improved his time with a 1:34.692. Mitchison didn't improve. O'Reilly has gone into the pits. So Chris Blanchard is coming down the start-finish straight away. He's our last man to get over the line. And Blanchard jumps Alan Dawson and jumps Dave Coleman. So he'd be pretty happy with that.
He does improve, yeah, he'll be happy with that. That gives him those two spaces we're talking about, and more importantly, his teammate right beside him.
Definitely sets him up nicely for the race itself. Of course, the race itself tonight, 45 laps, 2 compulsory pit stops. So definitely see what these guys roll out when the time comes. As we just wait for the clock to run down. So great little effort from James Scott again. Running by himself tonight. No Dylan Rudd. So definitely looking to see where he goes. Jordan Ross back in 11th, Adam Briggs.
Yeah, that's a really surprising one for Jordan to be as far back as what he is. I would have expected him to be up around O'Reilly or Gibbs, but maybe he just didn't get the run that he wanted on track. So that'll be interesting to how that plays out for him, and expect him to go forward. Yeah,
definitely. Let's have a look at the grid, how it's all going to lay out. So we've got James Scott from Lobs Esports on pole with a 1:34.692. Lining up alongside him is Luke Mitchison from Synergy Sim Racing. Jacob O'Reilly from Vermeulen Motorsports is in third. And then in fourth, we have Robbie Gibbs from ERT. Fifth, we have Teo Serrano from Altus Australia, lining up alongside Sean McNamara from 95 Sim Sports. So a great result from Teo to get himself that far up the grid. Seventh, Damien Johnstone from Synergy Sim Racing, lining up alongside Vermeulen Motorsports. Connor Nixon. In ninth, we have Zachary Vlashblom from Vermeulen's, and he's lining up alongside Thomas Freeman from 95 Sim Sports. Jordan Ross from Synergy Sim Racing all the way back in 11th, lines up alongside Brady Baldwin. And Zach McDonald, the young gun from 95s, is in 13th. He lines up alongside Dan Hall from ERT. Then in 15th, we got Anthony Visma lining up alongside Tom Freer from Synergy Sim Racing. And then we have the first of our Super 2 guys, Simon Chadwick from 95 Sim Sports, lining up alongside ERT's Chad Lewis. Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsports welcomed back into 19th alongside the Minnow from Fishy. Ty Delaney in 20th. Tyson Broad from Drop Bear Motorsports in 21st, lines up alongside Craig Schultz from 9.5. Dylan O'Shea from 9.5 in 23rd, lines up alongside Super 2 driver Troy Stonestreet. And then over the page, we go to Chris Blanchard, who lines up alongside Dave Coleman. Alan Dawson from Riot Sim Racing in 27th. Russell Gander, the privateer, in 28th. Steve Tonkin from JWM Esports in 29th, lines up alongside Greg Sharp. John O'Gallen from Pacific Esport Racing, and then Pete Pavlich in 32nd from Pacific Esport Racing. Our race control tonight is Richard Barella, and the safety car is Dave Worrell.
Yeah, nice grid tonight, John.
And we are away. Lights are out. Someone stalled at the back there, one of the WK&P cars. It looks like it might have been Stone Street. Continuing on, it looks like it's got going. And James Scott's going to hold out Luke Mitchinson. A few boys out wide, shuffling backwards. We'll come have a look at that in a minute. Looks like Broad was involved with that. Visma Pavlik as well. It's continuing on down through Coca-Cola. We're all getting into single file pretty quick. A little bit too wide, a bit further back though.
McNamara had to take a wide line out of turn one to avoid contact there, so it showed that he's being very aware of who's around him, and not sure whether he get a slow down on that for lap one or not.
Not too sure. Jacob O'Reilly here in thick of action. Race control already on the blower, so someone's called something in already. It's continuing on. So starting to settle down a little bit within the group.
James Scott's already pulled out 6/10. He'll be going fast, try and break that draft off Luke, who will tow along Robert and Teo. So yeah, he'll be looking to break this draft early and settle into his race.
Thomas Freeman involved in an accident. It's going to go at Supercheap Auto replay here. This is something early. Freeman and Jordan Ross are involved in this. One's been spun. Contact. That will be a mess to clean up for race control.
That's two Synergy cars there, and that looks like someone got into the back of Freo there, so they might have a bit to answer there.
Yeah, definitely going to be a busy night in race control already. As James Scott starting to pull away. He's got out the 7/10. Gibbs doing very well, up 2 spots for ERT. Mitchison's lost that spot. Serrano's up. McNamara's up. Johnston's up. And, of course, Dave Coleman up 14 spots.
He has had an absolute blinder. I don't know where he's pulled that. Him and both Fishy drivers, Jamie Dyke and David Coleman, making huge ground tonight.
Yeah, definitely a start and a half. I'm just going to do a little bit of tidy up going back through the pack. We're just going to have a look what happened to Dan Hall from ERT. Big cluster here. Going down. This is in the Coca-Cola. He's clipped over the curb. His teammate involved there as well with one of the 9.5 lads. I think that might have been Simon Chadwick involved in that incident. So definitely plenty happening all over the place. Scotty?
Yeah, he won't be happy with that, Dan. He's had a really bad run, and if he can get a good run, he can show some good consistency on track. So, but with Brenton O'Brien there behind, they'll come up with an alternative strategy for that car now, and they'll try and make as many places as they can.
Just going to drop back here. Boys starting to spread out a little bit. No one's making real headway, and you can see there's a gap from Nixon back to Visma now of 4 seconds. That's definitely split the train up a little bit. This is where it gets real interesting, I think, for the boys back in that position from ninth further back.
That is a big gap to have out on lap 3 already. So that's obviously from the incidents where everyone checked up and had to take a different line to avoid it or something. But yeah, that is a really big gap at this stage of the race. And like you say, with that'll be 2 different battle packs forming there.
Definitely Dave Coleman is the surprise package. Up 14 spots. Blanchard's up 7.
He's made good ground. Alan Dawson has gone with him. He's up 7 as well.
Going to be very, very tight in the clean-up of the battle of this one, I think. Just going to jump back up front with the boys. Check on Mr. Scott. Definitely hasn't pulled away as much as he probably would have liked to. Got that good 5-6 tenths in the first lap, and then it sort of settled a little bit.
This will be interesting to see how much Gibbs makes on this draft, and you can see the time just coming down now with the interval there. So the draft is a big effect. You're looking at those 2-3 tenths he might make up on track, he's losing it down the draft, and yeah, so there's an easily 3 tenths.
And somebody a bit further back there's pulled out alongside Damien Johnstone. Looks like O'Reilly's going to hang on to that spot. And just going to go have a quick look at something that's happened to Brady Baldwin. He was involved in an accident as well. 3 wide into the corner. A little bit of a tap behind there from one of the 9.5 boys. Sees Baldwin off the circuit.
He's another driver that not only in East Coast but also Pro Series qualifying series, he's had a bit of a bad run, and he's found himself involved in accidents, whether some of his or from others, doing just at the wrong place, wrong time. So it'll be frustrating for him, but the guys at Sin Energy, they'll keep him calm and get back on the job at hand. There's a long way to go yet. Another 40 odd laps to go, so plenty of time to make it back up and gain those positions back.
Yeah, definitely. Briggsy and Hobbsy will be in there the years of these lads, trying to settle them down. Jordan Ross all the way back in 21st position at the moment, so he's got a lot of work to do after the incident he was involved in. So Stone Street, there's a bit of a gaggle of cars back here a bit more. This is sort of back around 25th, 26th. So you can see this is where Jordan Ross just worked his way in this group, slowly picking them off. And that second group on track with Dylan O'Shea and Visma. So they're definitely battling away as well. But you can see that lead group, though, is definitely cleared out.
Yeah, Dylan O'Shea looks to have really good pace here, or race pace, even though Tom Freer just got him then. But he's up 11 positions, and looking at his lap times, yeah, he probably didn't get the best qualifying result he was after, but extremely capable driver, and yeah, I'd expect him to go a little bit more forward from here too.
Yeah, he probably should. And just going to check on Gibbs. That gap's closed right down as well. Looks like Mitchison's on the move. First outing in the new team colours.
Yeah, Robbie Gibbs having a really good race here. P2, he's just hanging in there. He's just doing enough to get in that, still stay in that draft to James Scott, who's absolutely driving sensational, as he always does. He's definitely a class here tonight. But yeah, Gibbs is there, Mitchison's there. Teo's still hanging in. He's the second behind Mitchison, and you know, Sean's gathered himself back up, and he's still within the draft there. So yeah, those guys will work together.
Just jumping up here for our Super 2 battle. Blanchard and Alan Dawson tucked right up behind Broad and Schultz in front of him.
Yeah, this is not what Chris wants at the moment. He definitely wanted a couple of cars between him and Alan, but Alan's doing everything right, John. This is where he needs to be. Like, he would know he just needs to finish behind Chris, and he's pretty much secured that Super 2 title. So he'll be very happy where he is, and Blanchard's got a little bit of work to do from here.
It definitely does. But still a long way to go. It's only lap 6 of 45, so anything can still happen here. And, of course, don't rule out Stone Street and Coleman as well. Coleman way up the track at the moment. No, Coleman's pitted. Sorry, I missed that. Put it on lap 3.
Okay, that he may have come in started with a light fuel load, possibly, because if you started with a full fuel here, I believe you only needed to take on around 40 litres, 42 litres, maybe less if you were saved a bit. So it was, not much fuel to take on. So I guess maybe that was a different one. Make those positions, start with a light fuel, and then come in early for a pit stop and go again for that longer middle stint, John.
Yeah, definitely trying something different. Not unfamiliar from the Fishy lads to be rolling the dice. As you can see here, McNamara battling with O'Reilly still. And then we've got Damien Johnstone and fellow Vermeulen driver Connor Nixon back there in 8th.
Yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on these boys. It looks like a little group of 4 there. Teo's sort of checked out a little bit a second up ahead, but they may be able to get on the back of him and make it a 5-way battle. But this is a really intriguing battle, John, because Sean is the leading driver for the golden ticket. He's got everything to play for and everything to lose, so be looking for him to not make any mistakes. Damien Johnson's got a lot to play for. And Jacob O'Reilly as well, he's in there. He knows what he's got to do to secure that second golden ticket, which is, it's a big thing that the Pro Invitational has done this year and really brought this series alive in giving that, in giving those golden tickets, and well deserved by these guys at this stage. So, as you say, long way to go. It'll be really intriguing to see how this group of 4 work together to get up to Teo, the Altus Esports car, or Altus Australia, car in front there, and later on we may see some things explode from there, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Maccarat, though, would know if he keeps Jacob where he is, he's got everything where it needs to be.
Yeah, he'd be very happy where he is at the moment.
Might just go back and have a look at that Blanchard battle. Jordan Ross, Brady Baldwin, Dan Hall, all into the pits at the moment as well. Blanchard caught up with these 2 in front of him battling.
Yeah, that's the second time those 2 in front have gone side by side through turn 1, so they're having a nice little battle there. I'm not sure it's doing the 2 guys behind any favours, or especially Chris, but yeah, he's just got to bide his time. He's got to be patient here, wait for his turn, and when it's there, get amongst it and try and gain a position or 2.
Yeah, definitely hard work at this stage. I'm just going to check on the Viz. Anthony Visma, he's battling with young Zach McDonald in front. So this is this other train with Tom Freer, Dylan O'Shea, Jamie Dyke.
Yeah, this is a good little battle here. Is that 295 cars in amongst it? Free is an exceptional driver, very fast, so he'll definitely put the pace on Visma. And Visma's one of these guys that has come from Vets, John, over into East Coast, and he's starting to prove himself. He probably hasn't had the best run that he would have liked here and as well as in the qualifying series, but he's going to learn a lot from this season, and I'd expect him to go forward. He's a very capable driver, very fast, and he's repping the Vets and accelerates Sim Sports proudly at the moment, mate.
Yeah, doing really good. I'm sure he'll have Greg Favell in his ear, working with him this evening. It looks like he's just fallen victim. Here comes Freer, and O'Shea as well.
Yeah, he got on the wrong lane then and got himself caught out. But, you know, he had to put himself in there with a chance. So,
Mind you,
good on him. He's racing.
Mind you, we're talking Freo, O'Shea. You know, we've got two blokes that are already in the Pro Series.
Absolutely.
So he hasn't disgraced himself with what he's been doing. So a great little battle with this one. Lap 9, of course. Bit of a call out for how Rusty Gander's getting on. Let's see where Rusty is. Rusty is up 6 spots at the moment. And 22nd. Big apologies to Rusty as well. A little bit of an incident last Thursday night. Greg Sharp was involved in something as well from WK&P. He's out on the curb. Car on the inside's just drifted out a little bit. Leave that one for race control to adjudicate as well, I think, Scotty.
Yeah, I think so, mate. It's very difficult to tell from those angles, and they'll make a decision on that one.
And Jacob O'Reilly just got past Teo Serrano. Teo's dropped back to these boys.
Right. This is where we might see, where we should see Sean push on and try and get this pass. He'll want to go with Jacob here. He won't want to get caught behind Teo for too long. So I'd be looking for Sean to, you know, give it a little bit of extra jangle and get back up onto O'Reilly again.
Connor tucked up at the back of this battle. You can see how hard these lads are pushing.
Yeah, on the other hand, this is probably where you'll see Jacob go, all right, let's see how your cars are travelling on these, you know, slightly worn, heated up tyres. They're probably the middle way through this stint. And, yeah, he's going to try and open up a gap and use Teo to hold Sean back. And maybe even, you know, Nixon might even be able to make a pass if Sean makes an error here. It's that close. It's a very intriguing battle, this one, and a lot to play for.
Oh, definitely. And of course, if we're going to go the even split race, lap 15 would be where you'd expect to see these guys come in. We're talking just doing it purely on tyre strategy to get the best wear. You can see that draft straight up alongside Macca.
Yeah, here comes Nixon. He's going to put it down the inside. Sean will let him go here. He'll play the long game.
So Sean's really just got to finish somewhere in the top 15 and he'll be safe, I think, in my calculations.
Yeah, very smart and crafty driver. He's been around a long time, has a wealth of knowledge, so he may even be lifting and coasting a little bit here, save a bit of fuel. He'll know that, you know, what he's got to do. So, yeah, I was surprised he did make it so easy, but yeah, he's obviously got a game plan that he's going to, and like I say, top 15 for him will seal it, and he'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on this Super 2 battle here as well. Blanchard still in front of Dawson, still tucked up behind the 295 Sports cars in front. Sorry, one and then Tyson Broad from Drop Bear.
It'd be interesting to to see what Alan's thinking here. He's looking a little bit racy. I think if the opportunity presents itself, he'll take the position off Chris, but he's doing exactly what he's got to do. So it's all on Blanchy now to manage this race. Like I say, that he may come in a little bit earlier if he's and I know he started with full fuel, so I know he had 111 fuel on, so he'd only be needing 40 odd litres to get home. So that, like I say, it's a tyre strategy race. They'll be able to cover the 20 litres and 20 litres per pit stop tonight with 2 compulsory pit stops required.
Yeah, definitely. Let's jump back up this battle up the front. They are still tightly bunched. Robbie Gibbs has managed to hang on to James Scott. And Luke Mitchison from Synergy Sim Racing coming along for the journey.
Yeah, this is good, John. This is probably the first battle that we've seen for James Scott that he's been under pressure all season. Like, he is absolutely dominated, and it's good to see the ERT car of Robbie Gibbs go with him, and Luke Mitchison supporting the Synergy car. So yeah, the couple of, well, three big name teams right at the front here, and has got James Scott under a little bit of pressure at the moment, which is great to see.
Yeah, definitely good to see James working for it. And of course, James, another one of the guys already with a ticket into the Pro Series, but he would definitely be working hard here to help out his teammates who will be racing tomorrow night.
I think he's one of those drivers where he just wants to win. That's his mentality. He goes out there and races the absolute wheels off it every race and does the best he can. And, you know, his performance on track this season alone has been exceptional. But I'm really surprised with Robbie Gibbs. He is absolutely flying. And he's coming for an overtake. Had a little look there, John, and thought better of it. Not quite up enough.
Yeah, definitely showing the nose. Putting the blowtorch on to James Scott. As Dylan O'Shea heads into the pit lane.
Yeah, I think it won't be long. Like I say, between now, lap 15, we'll see quite a few come in, get that first stop done if they're looking for a little bit of an undercut, you know, and see how they go. So maybe track position is what they'll be looking for with their pit stops as well.
Yeah, definitely something you've got to consider. As these lead three cars now heading up into the Nets corner complex. Just going to go up on the blimp for a second.
Excuse me.
Have a look at Panasonic, where I did notice before there was 2 or 3 different lines being used from the group a bit further back. Those guys pretty much close to each other.
Yeah, a little bit of a different line there by the Lobby Sports car to the ERT car there. This will be interesting to see whether Robbie Gibbs has another look up the inside here, John. He's got a good run.
He's close enough.
Yeah, I think he's decided just to hang back.
Oh, a bit of traffic coming out of pit lane. This might make it interesting. Gibbs gets it done, but can't hang on to it. This James Scott comes straight back.
He does not want to give it up. He will fight it tooth and nail. That was a good move. Like I say, a little bit of traffic there. That would have caught their eyes as they came into that braking zone. So, you know, brilliant of both of them to be able to pull it up. And, you know, James Scott just comes back at you again. He'll give you nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. So, it's going to check a bit further back on Macca. Damien Johnstone now putting the blowtorch on him. Connor Nixon's managed to work his way through. And Jacob O'Reilly has got Teo Serrano in between him and Sean McNamara at the moment. And Thomas Freeman is back up the grid again in 30-second spots. I'm not sure what happened to Thomas.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was one of those cars involved in an incident with that Dan Hall earlier. Maybe he had a drive-through there. But I do know that he did get turned by the Synergy car there lap 1. So maybe it took him a little bit of time to rejoin. Unsure of what's going on with Thomas there.
But definitely a fair bit going on. And just going to have a look. Tyson Broad. He's still in that little battle with Schultz. Looks like Blanchard's dropped off the back of this little bit after Dawson's gotten past him. And he's put his head down and kept going.
He has, whether he's had a little bit of a mistake or an error there, but he has dropped off. He's still within drafting distance. He'll get back on him this lap. But for Dawson to push ahead now, and Dawson will look to make that ground. He will look for another position or two here just to get it between him and secure that Super 2s, because it is important to these drivers, and it is worth giving the drivers in these different classes that recognition, because they do work hard. They're not a James Scott, they're not a Robbie Gibbs or anything like that, but they get to race around guys that are of similar pace, so it is just as important and just as hard and fierce fought as the Pro or the Vet Series itself.
Yeah, they work just as hard. They do the practice, they do the setups. Being open set league, there is a fair bit that goes on. It's just going to stay with this group for a little bit. Let's just see if he looks to make a move out of Panasonic this time.
We've got Jacob O'Reilly in pit lane now.
And Teo Serrano and Connor Nixon as well. And it looks like Schultz is heading there. And it looks like Dawson is going to... Not Dawson, sorry. Dawson keeps going. O'Reilly's in. Schultz and Broad have gone in as well. So that frees up Dawson now. But Blanchard...
down the inside. He's gone for a send. He said, well, this is it. He's going to send it, so good on him.
And what does Dawson do here now? Does he come back into Coca-Cola? No, he doesn't.
So O'Reilly's come out of pit lane ahead of Teo, and then Connor Nixon behind. Now, did Sean McNamara stay out for that extra lap?
He has. Macca's still out there. Macca hasn't pitted yet. So, of course, if you've done the full tank strategy, you only got to put that 40 litres in. So if the car feels all right, nothing means you can't stay out, particularly if you've got some open air now, like McNamara's got.
Absolutely, John. And then you're going to have two good tyres, sets of tyres at the back end of this race, and you're going to be fast, very fast.
Yeah. So the old two compulsory pit stops. It does make for a very interesting strategy race.
Now, if I was Blanchard coming around here, I would pit this lap. Like, I would not give Dawson the opportunity to undercut me and get on the back of the two that they were fighting with before this. I would come in and pit this lap.
And Dawson's probably thinking, oh, there he goes. Blanchard peeled in.
I hope he didn't cross that white line. That looked very close.
Will be interesting, that one. Might be able to go back and show that maybe from the blimp. If I can catch up to everything else that's going on around it. Let's have a look on the replay, Scott.
Yeah, this will be... Oh,
no, it comes in too late. Yeah, I can't go back that much further. That's all right. We will leave it at that. Alan Dawson, here we go. Try this one. It looks like he just does get in there, doesn't it? Let's go one more. It's a bit later in.
He's out now, so...
Yeah. Obviously didn't get a penalty if he's out, but yeah, got to be careful. Scott Mitchison now head off into the pit. So these two coming in together. This is our race leader.
We'll look for Gibbs to make a big undercut here. And the other one who's made a move is Jacob O'Reilly. He's clearing out on Teo at the moment after that pit stop. He's used these tyres and he said it's head down. And he's almost broken this draft.
Yeah, he's definitely got the window open now. 1.8. That should definitely be where he needs to be. And then Alan Dawson, he's in the pit lane now as well. So I need to keep an eye on where he rolls out in relation to Blanchard. See a few others in the background. The Bumblebee, a bit of ducks and drakes.
So Gibbs is out in front of Scott and O'Reilly.
Yep. It is crowded here. Mitchison's been shuffled back a little bit by the looks. So just going to try and keep abreast. So Tom Frere and Visma in front have not pitted yet. So Robbie Briggs is our main man at the moment, ahead of James Scott and Jacob O'Reilly. And then Connor Nixon and then the Teo Serrano battle.
Yeah, and McNamara's coming up behind Mitchison, but all importantly for him, that's put 3 cars between him and Jacob O'Reilly at this stage.
A little bit of work, big dive on Serrano. Got to make it stick though.
Yeah,
Through the net's corner. Can he keep it too wide? No, can't get it too wide into Panasonic.
Yeah, good driving by Teo. He closed that door on him there. Said you're not having the inside. So he's got the outer line here. He should get the draft. Teo may not block this one, and there's no point defending it. Be interesting to see what Sean's done behind, whether he's going to go for 2 for 1 here.
Oh, a bit of bum draft.
He's going to push him.
Macca backing out early there. And he gets the job done. And I've just... Nice bit of work from Mitchison.
Play. Yeah, interesting play, John, there, because I would have thought that Mitchison would have just easily flown past Teo there. So Teo must be running a really low wing here, and that's why Mitchison picked him up through this, the back end of Sector 1 and Sector 2, where, a little bit of extra aero does help, settles the car, and you can see the gap that he's pulled already. So, yeah, this will open the door up and should make easy pickings for Sean come the straight. So, yeah, good play there by the 2 opposite teams.
Yeah, definitely.
In the 9-5, working together.
So, of course, Teo still within drafting distance, though, of the boys in front, of Nixon and Mitchison. And McNamara here been looking for a great exit out of Panasonic. A little bit of a twitch by Teo when he gets the power down.
Yeah, that Altus car is fast in a straight line.
Not wrong. McNamara is actually not closing the gap down. And the Milan boys up front, they're having a bit of a crack as well. Connor Nixon and...
Yeah, Nixon's going to come back at him here. He's gone for the under, but come out to this left-hander. It should be done. He should get this job done here. Yeah, and he'll close the door there. Yep, nice driving, Mitchison, to take that position.
So that'll freeze Mitchison up to get down the road a little bit from these lads. It's going to jump up the front. It is really crackling on up here now. James Scott is only 2/10 behind Robbie Gibbs. Robbie Gibbs being pushed all the way.
How good is Robbie Gibbs driving? This is sensational from the ERT driver. He's been thereabouts, but tonight he's really come alive and he's taken it to James Scott. This is sensational. Really, really good to see.
It definitely is. Of course, Robbie, one of the pro guys, but there are a few lads at ERT still trying to get their hand in through the qualifying, so they'll be using these sets, I think, for the rest of the team tomorrow night. And I know Brenton will be working very hard here to keep Robbie in front of James. Racecraft, I think, will be the battle here, I think. But James, too, would be playing, let's just look after the car game.
Yeah, they'll look after the car. They've got another set of tyres to go, so it'll be interesting whether they'll wait for 8 laps to go before they come into that to really just go as fast as they can, 8 laps, send it at this track. So, Track temp still 30.6 degrees, so it's a warmish side, but not over hot or anything like that. So they'll be getting a good life out of these tyres.
Just checking in on Visma Delaney and Jamie Dyke. So young Ty sitting in 12th. Not too far behind the Viz. He'll be getting a bit of a draft ride there. He's going to go back. Alan Dawson has got Craig Schultz in his sights in front. And he has Dave Coleman tucked up behind. Coleman, of course, going in with that alternate strategy. Putting on lap 3. And just going to roll back. Blanchard's about 3 seconds behind this battle. Just going to go back further back. Peter Pavlik from Pacific Esports. He's in a good little battle back here with Brady Baldwin, battling back from an incident early on. And, of course, we also have Dan Hall back here as well, another one that was caught up in some of the early ruckus.
Yeah, it's good to see the Pelican up amongst those guys. Dan Hall's no slouch and has done and had success over in V8's. And Brady Baldwin, well, he's a good driver, and he always races hard, and he'll be looking to try and go as forward after probably not the ideal start, like we talked about earlier, John. That he got involved in a little bit of an incident there. So, but yeah, good to see the Pelican there.
Yeah, they're out there. And of course, Rusty Gander, he's not too far behind these boys as well, representing the split 3 boys from Vets.
No, he's doing a great job.
And Teo has managed to hang on to the back of Connor. And Connor is now 2.8 seconds behind Luke Mitchison. So Mitchison is absolutely flying. Be clearing out like he has.
Yeah, he's driving really well. The car does look good. It looks pretty stable through these turns. There's nothing untoward going on with the car where he seems to be fighting it. So yeah, he's right in the groove at the moment, and he's putting down the lap times to show. So yeah, good strategy by him. Get those fresh tyres, clear out from the guys behind him, and they've got all the work to do, and he can just get on with his race.
Yeah, definitely. John O'Gallen at the moment is sitting up 5 spots in 26, Stefani. It looks like Macca's quite comfortable, settled in there at that, allowing these boys up front to do the battling. And just going to check back on our friend Alan Dawson. He's still in this big battle here. Definitely one hand on the trophy. But needs to be careful not to get caught up in the battle in front of him here as they go too wide into first corner.
Yeah, and there's that Schultz through, is it? He's made that stick, so Dawson's gone with him.
Yep, the old 2 for 1. I'll keep an eye on that battle as they unfold a bit more. It's going to go back up the front. Definitely not much in this.
Yeah, I've been keeping a good eye on these two up here, John, and yeah, they're setting really good lap times at the moment. The last lap around 36.4 for Gibby and 36.3 for James Scott. So the other one who's matching those times at the moment is Jacob O'Reilly, but he's a few seconds back, and he would love to be in amongst this and make it a 3-way.
Yeah, definitely would love to see him up there. But I think we're going to have a classic battle here with Robbie Gibbs and James Scott. Just got to keep a bit of an eye on a few things.
Yeah, if they get into James won't want to fight with Gibbs at the moment. There's no need to him. He doesn't want to bring Jacob O'Reilly into it. So they start tangling up. That's what's going to happen. So it's going to unfold come the last pit stops, John, and that's where it's going to happen. And yeah, if they've got a bit of a gap between them and Jacob, yeah, they're going to have a bit of a send and fight it out.
It's jumping on board here with Zach McDonald, the young gun from 95 Sim Sports. He's sitting in 14th. He'd be pretty happy with that at the moment, I think. Speaking of young guns, though, it's Ty Delaney leading our Super 2s at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't had much to do with or seen Zach McDonald on track, but yeah, I have read he's a young fella and he's holding his own here, right behind Jamie Dyke from Fishy Motorsports. So he's only down one position, but he is in a good position to perhaps make that one back up or not. But yeah, driving really well, nice and calm, collected, and keeping himself out of trouble. So yeah, must have a cool head on him and a good team behind him to support him with that.
And just jumping back up with the leaders. Millimetres between them. Very tight battling going on here. And Tom Freer, he is side by side. With Dylan O'Shea.
We've seen Tom Freer do this time over time where he'll start further back than probably where he should or where he'd like, and he'll just work himself through the field with his consistent, lap times and really good lap times. He's a quality driver, Tom, when he gets his head down and concentrates, and he's showing it again here tonight up to P9.
They're definitely doing extremely well. Tom, week in, week out, been a regular here at East Coast. He's starting from the rear of the grid, has been an absolute blast to watch some nights. But Dylan O'Shea, a little bit loose in the background, but he managed to get control. But Dylan up 13 spots, so that's nothing to sneeze at either, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan's one of those blokes that he's a really nice guy too. Like if he has an incident that belongs to him, he owns it, comes out, says sorry, hey, that was my fault, and as a driver that's been involved with that with him, it's something you really appreciate on track, and you learn to respect others around you and other drivers for it, even though it doesn't help you at the time. People that acknowledge when it is their fault and that. And Dylan's one of those guys and really sharp driver at certain tracks. So maybe you just struggled there a little bit, John, with being behind Tom. It was he got into his aero a little bit, unsettled the car, but give him a lap or two, he'll try and adjust to that and go with Tom and hang with him, and hopefully Tom will take him forward.
Yeah, it would be a good strategy to work with as O'Shea has peeled off into the pits. So starting to see the second stop happening a little bit early for a few of them. Let's go check on Teo.
Well, there goes that strategy. But yeah, out into the pits, that surprised me. That would be his second pit stop. So yeah,
yep.
He's definitely going for track position here, and yeah, that's an interesting one. That'd be see how that turns out later on in the back end of this race.
Definitely plenty to play for. Teo Serrano, though, he is under a lot of pressure from Nixon and McNamara.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that Altus car is an absolute bullet in a straight line, so he's got him covered on this straight, which is really surprising, but he may be even holding up Nixon and McNamara a little bit here by that, where they've got him covered through the rest of the track, but just cannot get a pass up on him down this straight.
Interesting setup. So I'm interested to see who takes that approach tomorrow night. They definitely struggle to keep up with him.
What I have noticed is that Jacob O'Reilly is slowly but surely, 10th by 10th, gaining in on Robert Gibbs and James Scott. He's sitting around about 2.8 seconds behind now, so he's working hard behind the wheel. He definitely wants to get amongst those leaders and make it a three-way battle.
Definitely working hard for it. Just going to check out Tyson Broad. We haven't been on looked at this battle for a few minutes. So he's still got Alan Dawson up the road in front of him. And Craig Schultz. So Alan Dawson doing really well. He's put daylight between himself and Blanchard.
Yeah, he has. He's in the perfect position here. And P14, he's up 13 positions, John. That's a phenomenal effort. He's doing everything he had to do in this final race of East Coast Series 9 to get himself that Super 2 title. And he's in a great position now. And yeah, he'll be looking to finish off these last 18 odd laps, 17 laps to and secure that. Here we go.
Here
Just
it is.
James Scott coming for it.
Yep. And gets it done.
Yeah, easily done. Gibbs didn't fight that at all. He may have seen how O'Reilly was closing it in,
Yeah.
and 2.4 seconds behind now. So he said, well, that's enough. Let's go. Let's not bring him into it.
And O'Shea's actually parked it up, Mark, Scott, so not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because he was having a good run. So unless something's happened on the home front or some sort of equipment thing, and yeah, that's an interesting one there, John, because he was having a good race.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. James Scott back in control. Second stops, I'm predicting will happen in between laps 30 and 35 for most of these guys. Anything longer than that, you're probably running your tyres a bit too long.
It'll be interesting, that strategy, because there was a couple there that did run a little bit longer, so they were looking for those fresher tyres to make ground at the end. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they will come in for that pit stop, but it will make it interesting to see how it goes. Like for example, Freer and Visma, they ran 19 laps on their tyres, so you know they've got it. It opens up the strategy with that last set a little bit more for them.
Oh, Marco having a look. Pulls out, tucks back in.
Well, we must have missed Nixon getting the pass done on Teo there. So, yeah, like we talked about, that car's fast as a straight line, but they probably felt they were getting held up for the rest of the track. So, yeah, Macca will be looking to make this pass now. He'll want to get on with it, stay with Connor. Doesn't want to let him get ahead, just in case as well. So,
Definitely. O'Reilly's into the pits, so starting to see them go early. He's jump on with Broad for a second. Is he going to make a move coming down here? No, he's going to stay tucked up behind Schultzy. And these
good
guys
strategy by O'Reilly. Get that pit stop done now. Get on those fresh tyres. Try and get that 2.5 seconds he was behind, so it can bring him into that three-way battle. Come towards the end of the race. Yes, he'll be on those worn tyres, but he will be in their draft. So that's what I think he's playing for. And yeah, good strategy.
You definitely see how it rolls out. It's pretty much into that second stop window. Tyson Broad, he's trying to get the move done on Schultzy now.
James Scott and Gibbs have reacted. They're both into pit lane.
Yep, and Mitchison as well. And Jacob O'Reilly making a few moves back here now after that second stop. He's got to work through a bit of traffic.
Yeah, this is the last thing he wants at the moment. He wanted that clean air. You know, to find those couple of seconds. So this will be really interesting how it plays out, John, and I do hope it turns into a three-way battle. I know Gibbs and James are like, no, we don't want to, but for us, watching, spectating, we're looking at. Gibbs is down off the jacks. No, James Scott's got him. He's got him coming out of pit lane.
Yep. Keeping an eye out. Mitchison's rolled out as well. Teo Serrano is rolling out. He's going to jump on with Steve Tonkin for a minute from JWM Esports. Side by side. He's going to peel off into the pits even though he was on the move. Dawson and O'Reilly battling away. Of course, O'Reilly has made that second stop. And Dawson makes a smart move. Lets those quick boys through without getting in their way. Picking his battles, as we say in the game. O'Reilly, though, he's under all sorts of pressure from Mitchelson as we tick over lap 30 of 45. So we're getting into the back third of the race now.
He definitely didn't get the run that he wanted with that pit stop. He had that lot of traffic, had to fight his way through, and they fought hard with him too, which was surprising. But, you know, fair game. You're allowed to. That's what you're there to.
Absolutely.
It was raced, and
starting to see a few others peel off into the pit lane. Anthony Visma. I think Zach McDonald's going to go in as well as we pick up what's going on with the top two. James Scott and Robert Gibbs. A cracking battle so far as we've now got Visma, McDonald, Dyke, Chadwick and Dawson in the pit lane. Mitchinson's under pressure still putting the pressure on Jacob O'Reilly in front of him.
yeah, Luke's made good gains here. He'd be very happy where he is. So he was back a little bit from O'Reilly, but yeah, that traffic held him up a bit, and Mitchelson's there. So this is a good battle that's forming between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 effectively on track. And here he goes. He's put it down the inside. He's had a look. Will it stick? I think it is, John. I think he's got it done.
Yeah, stuck it in at the hairpin. Nice work for Mitchelson. First outing in the Synergy colours. You'd be happy with that. Drew Dunlop now heading up the hill. And already pulled a little bit of time out as Nixon McNamara head into pit lane. So does Damien Johnston.
This will be interesting where Sean comes out in relation to Teo, because Teo pitted earlier. Like we said, I felt maybe they were getting held up through the back end of the track. They had nothing down the main straight. Well, he's coming back at him. He's going to have another go down the inside.
This is Tom Freya.
This is Tom. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's got that done easily.
A little bit of a tap there as well. And just going to try and pick up Jacob O'Reilly now. Damon Mitchison keep going as he pulls out alongside. And O'Reilly's going to get him here. Get him back, Scott.
Yeah, he has. That draft is all effective, and yeah, it's working well. So this is turning into a cracker.
Yeah, definitely.
Up the front, it looks like James Scott has said, that's it, foot down, I'm going, and Robbie Gibbs is really trying to hang on to the back end, but yeah, struggling a little bit at the moment, so hopefully can keep it up and get a few good laps in and get back on it.
It's still some way to go, 32 of 45. But James Scott definitely cleared out now to that second gap. Looking to get it out to closer to 2 seconds to make sure the draft is dead. McNamara has come back out in 9th. He's in front of Damien Johnstone.
And Jordan Ross has made ground up P8. I've got him down as 2 pit stops. Not sure whether one of them was completed a pit stop or not, but yeah, I've got him as 2, John.
Yeah, okay. I've got him as 1 on my board, but we'll find out in a minute.
Maybe one was a drive through. That's why he went back. Because yeah, he is 12.8 laps into this stint on these tyres.
It's under a lot of pressure from McNamara though. It looks like he's heading down pit lane this time though. Ross the boss heads in the service. And jump back on with O'Reilly down the end of the straight. And he manages to hang on from Mitchison again. Just going to check in on Alan Dawson. He is in 18th, up 9 spots after his second stop. He'd be pretty chuffed with that. Blanchard's made his second stop as well. He's a fair way down the order. So 33 of 45. He has Done very well, our Super 2 leader.
Yeah, he's doing everything he needs to do here, John, and he's doing it well. So, yeah, good on him. I mean, you know, from personal perspective, I'd love to see Chris up there battling with him and, you know, making a show of it. But when he's driving like that, Alan, you know, credit to him, and he's cleared out nicely.
Done very well. Just jumping back up on James Scott, Robbie Gibbs. Robbie has taken 2/10 out of James.
Yeah, I was just watching Robbie's car there. He is pushing hard. He knows it's make or break time. He cannot lose this draft. So, yeah, Robbie Gibbs is pushing very hard at the moment to stay in this draft with James Scott.
James slowly meandering down the track, trying to break it, of course. No one around him, he's entitled to do.
Yeah, I don't know about so slowly. They're the only two cars in the 35s, although O'Reilly just put in and Mitchison both put in high 35s. So 35 sixes for Scott and Gibbs and 35 nines for O'Reilly and Mitchison.
Some interesting times. Going to check on Connor Nixon. He's tucked right up behind Teo Serrano at the moment. Another close battle on track.
Yeah, so that undercut for Teo paid off. Got Connor back behind him. He did get that pass done before the pit stop. So, yeah, he's got the work to do now. And one thing we know about Connor is he's going to go for this when he can. And he's a good driver. He drives a lot of different classes. Has his social media going, a New Zealand guy. So, yeah, check him out. He's a good bloke, does the social rounds, always has something nice and pleasant to say. So, yeah, jump on Connor Nixon there. He's going well.
Yeah, definitely highly recommend it. He put a good spiel on about the Pro Series qualifiers the other night. Just showed the passion that's out there with some of these guys, how committed they are to their sim racing. These boys come through Panasonic. What can he do this time going down the long start-finish straightaway?
He's in striking distance here, John. We know that Altus car is fast, but will be compromised under brakes at the end of this straight. So he's right tucked up there. I think he's going to go for it and get this done now.
He's definitely a chance. Coming down into first corner.
No.
Doesn't.
Yeah, that surprised me. It was almost like he pushed him along.
Yeah, interesting. Keep a close eye on that one. Just going to check on our mate Jacob O'Reilly. He is still in close quarters of Luke Mitchison. These guys have had nothing but a cigarette paper between them. Rusty Gander behind. Rusty was involved in a bit of an incident a few seconds ago, so might have probably getting out of their way, I would say.
Yeah, it's a good battle, this one. You know, for that final podium position, you have 10 laps to go. They're, yeah, like I say, John, nothing but between them, and, you know, they want to be in front of each other. So this is evolving into a really good battle for that P3 at this stage.
Definitely. And these boys battling very hard. Going to go back, check on Alan Dawson. He's in a bit of a battle still with Craig Schultz. These two have been together all night. Our previous Super 2 champion with our Super 2 champion-elect. A great drive for the right sim racing entry from Alan Dawson.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that Craig Schultz was a previous Super 2 champion. So, yeah, good battle, this one.
Doing very well. Teo under pressure again, coming down. Connor's going to stay there. That low wing definitely providing that little bit of extra legs. O'Reilly, they're still battling as well through Coca-Cola. So we've got 10 laps to go here. Pressure would be starting to mount on a few of these boys if they think they know how they're going to get this job done.
Jacob's one of those drivers. He really impressed at Magny Cours as well, John. He had a fantastic drive there and was right amongst the leaders. So he's shown a really great turn of pace this season. And, he's putting it down on track tonight as well. So, yeah, credit to him, credit to the team. They've actually, looks like they've turned a little corner there where their drivers are showing good pace, moving forward, and a fair bit of confidence, I'd imagine, getting around in that team at the moment.
Yeah, they'll be pretty chuffed with how they've been going. And still a bit of a distance to go, but I think they have done very well for their first season in East Coast. And I think they're knocking on the door of having a few of the lads, 3 wide here, with a few of the lads, doing well in the Pro Series too. So it looks like we might see Vermeulen Motorsports in the main game.
Yeah, good track awareness by Craig Schultz to give it there, but he's going to come back down on the inside here if he can. He doesn't want to give it up, so it'll be interesting to see how the draft works.
Simon Chadwick getting involved with this.
Yeah, he's got it done. It just shows you don't get that run off that turn. Oh, yeah, nice little block him up, why don't you? Yeah, he has too, and he's coming through.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to come with. Look, he's in the back of this. It's Ross the boss, Jordan Ross. He's worked his way back up to 17th after the Colossus, what was the start of the race for him.
Yeah, well sorted by the 9-5 guys there. They've done that well in the end. And, credit to Alan too. He had good situational awareness. He knew I don't have to get contact here. I don't need contact. I don't need to spin, but I'm going to fight for it as well. As he puts it back up the inside, John, he's not giving it up.
And Jordan Ross wanting to get a bit of piece of this as well. Probably some smart driving from Alan Dawson here just to get out of their way, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd be trying to let Jordan go through as quick as I could. He's on fresh tyres. He's an exceptional driver. He's super fast. And, they've let him through. But this has compromised his exit. So here comes Dawson again, John. He's not giving it up. I'll take the outside if you give it to me.
Something's just happened to Teo. We're just going to go to the Supercheap Auto replay, have a look at Serrano. This is Nixon trying to make that move. A little bit of contact. And both of them, in particular Teo, steer right off. That will be fun. And he's jumped back to the pits as well. So I think that is the end of Teo's race.
Yeah, kind of looked like an over-exaggerated off there, John. Like, he got a little bit of contact, but I thought he could have pulled that up before the sand by the looks of it. So, yeah, something else may have gone on there, but for him to just give it up and go back to the pits.
Yeah, that puts O'Reilly into P3. Mitchison now tucked up behind him, battling away. And then Sean McNamara is back into 5th. 6th will be Damien Johnstone. There's still a few battles going on around the track to keep an eye on. That was one of them we had been following. Just going to check on Ross the boss. He is definitely now chasing down Chadwick in front. Tyson Broad, they've all cleared out a little bit now that they've gotten past this group. And
I would say he'll make this pass pretty soon, John. I don't think it'll take him long. Look at the pace he's got over the 9.5 there with those newer tyres.
Yeah, definitely would be looking to make a move on that one. Just going to check on McNamara. He's in that battle. O'Reilly, as we said, battling with Mitchinson. And one name we haven't mentioned too much tonight is Thomas Freeman. He's worked his way back up into 16th.
Yeah, Thomas is he's one of those drivers, isn't he, where he has really good race pace. Maybe he has to work on his qualifying pace, but over a race distance, he's a very strong competitor in it. And and puts in good lap times around the group that he races with. So he didn't have the best start, John, but he's made ground since then, and he's recovering. He's still down 6 positions, but he'll be looking for another spot up ahead of him in Craig Schultz very soon.
Yeah, he'd be pretty happy with how he's travelling, I think, in terms of where he started. Zach McDonald, we haven't mentioned him for a little bit. He's still battling away. He does have Tyson Broad catching up behind him. That gap is closing. Tyson's done well since he's got himself free of the Craig Schultz battle that he was in before. So showing some good pace.
Well, that's going to evolve as we're getting into the dying laps here, 5, 6 laps to go. So this is break or make time for these guys if they're going to get that extra position. If they've got the car under them, they've got it in them, yet they're going to go for it. So it's that time.
And Damien Johnstone's having a crack here at Macca now.
What I can tell you between James Scott and Robbie Gibbs is 2 laps ago, Robbie Gibbs didn't have a very good lap. He dropped 5, 6 tenths on a lap. He's back up to pace now, but that gap has blown out to around about the 1.8 seconds. So that bad lap, that one lap, really cost him, and it just shows the consistency of James Scott at the moment. You cannot afford to have that bad lap when you're racing a quality driver like that.
Nah, you definitely can't. Just going to check on O'Reilly Mitchinson, sorry. Just can't close that gap as much as you'd like to, Mitchinson, down the straightaway. Obviously, the Vermeulen boys using slightly less swing, I'd say, Scotty.
Yeah. Which is surprising because Sin Energy is known to have a lower wing at times, I guess, is a good way to put it. And they've been very successful with that, especially over a variety of tracks. So it's interesting. Does he go for the spot now, John, or does he wait? Like, he's within striking distance. Like, is he playing the game where, hey, let's wait for 2, 3 laps to go before we really start putting the pressure on? Now, is that part of his game plan, possibly, or is he maxed out? I'm not sure, but they're both driving brilliantly, and it's going to unfold if they've got an opportunity. So I'm looking forward to see how that turns out.
It's definitely a contest. Mitchison definitely playing smart lines here as we head back up into Panasonic. A bit defensive from O'Reilly. Mitchison looking for the sweeping line out.
This will tell us about the wing here, because Mitchison does have a better line, better run. O'Reilly got a good drive off that corner, but it'll be interesting to see whether he makes ground, and it looks like he slightly is now, so...
Probably not enough.
Yeah, not enough. I was surprised. I would have expected him to pick up a couple of tenths there, John.
So these two went toe-to-toe before going into the hairpin, so I think that would be Mitchison be looking to try and get the job done. But he does have to get that little bit closer, so some great driving from O'Reilly.
What I can tell you is Robbie Gibbs took 3 tenths out of James Scott, or bit over 2 tenths last lap, so he's brought himself almost back into draft range.
Maybe looking to get into that. Not too many battles left around track. This is probably the main one we're watching. This is the battle for the final step on the podium tonight. A little bit show the nose.
Yeah, he did. He had a look there, and it was a quick cover off by Jacob. Not yet, buddy. You're not having that.
Of course, these boys aren't too far behind. They're only 7 seconds back from the Gibbs, Scott Battle in front of them as well. So they have been driving fairly quickly this evening.
Yeah, John, they have been very fast. You know, our track temps come down. It's at 28.9 Celsius at the moment, so that'll be helping these longer tyres, you know, as it's worn off. But you know, not a great variance really. We're talking 2-3 Celsius over this race change in temp.
Yeah, definitely Northern Hemisphere winter. The usual typhoon season we see when Formula One roll into town in these parts of the world.
That's right, isn't it? Always seems like there's a big spray coming off those cars when they're on track at Fuji.
It's a crazy circuit. Of course, as I said earlier, the circuit where Sebastian Vettel won his first GP race for AlphaTauri. Oh, Red Bull Visa app.
Here we go, John.
Here it is.
Yeah, he's put it up the inside.
Yeah.
And he's got it done. He got that quite done easily. Jacob didn't fight it. There's still 2 and a bit laps left for these guys, so he's got plenty of time. He's going to come back at him, though. This will be on. This is on. They're both showing a bit of pace.
Absolutely. And if he's got that lower, he's coming back at him before he gets there.
Yeah, he's definitely showing. He's giving him room to put him offline. He's on the outside here, but depending how they get through, he'll cover this. This is covered. He might get it done.
But if he's got that lower wing, though, he'd be able to capitalise coming back down the straight. As we come out of Panasonic, who's going to get the better drive? A little bit of lap traffic in front to deal with, too, for these lads with 2 to go.
They've both got a nice drive there. This is what we want. This is what we wanted in East Coast. You know, a couple of great drivers battling it on. Even James Scott, he's had to work hard up the front. And here he comes, he's covering the line, John, and it's going to have to be the outside route.
Oh, contact!
Oh,
no. That is not what we want to see.
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
Oh.
Well, he's giving him the flash too. He's not happy. And I don't even want to digest that. Race control, good luck. You've got to lap it a bit to sort that out. That's not up to us.
We'll jump back to this next group. They're all still close together as well. That was disappointing. That was shaping up to be an absolute ball terror at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And yeah, they didn't leave anything, but oh god, they could. They'll look back on that, John, and there'll be a couple of what ifs asked.
O'Reilly on the blower now, so definitely discussing it with the race control.
Yeah, well, they do a good job in race control. Very fair guys in there, very experienced. And, yeah, they can decipher that, John, because I have no idea. I was wrapped up in the moment, mate. I just wanted it to continue.
Yeah, of course. And that's going to put Luke Mitchison onto the bottom step of the podium for his first outing with Synergy Sim Racing. So that is a big ticket item.
Another note is Johnson has got past McNamara.
Job is done there, and he's cleared out a little bit as well as we start the last lap. Some very interesting lines being held now to try and break that draft. Oh, no, go back on this side. No, go back on that side. Where you going, Macca?
He's swerving like a yellow taxi in suburban Melbourne, mate.
And one's up the inside. Macca going to get a bite of this as well, is he? No. Bit of light flicking going on.
Yeah, something's going on. He's not happy with it. I don't mind a bit of light flicking. I think it's all well and truly good, you know, unless it's night time or low light conditions. It means so many different things. It's not always angry. It's like, hey, well done. Let's go, boys. You know, all that sort of stuff. So I have no problem with people flashing lights, mate.
Here we go. Macca on the move.
Oh, he wants this spot, doesn't he?
He does. Side by side here. And Nixon gets it
set
through.
him up here, John.
Yeah. We might just have to come back to this, though. We'll see what happens. Because it's all about this bloke, James Scott. Got pushed a little bit early on, but he is going to be our race winner. And 2 seconds behind, and championship winner as well. 2 seconds behind, of course, is Robbie Gibbs from ERT. Luke Mitchison a little bit further back. And we're going to shuffle all the way back to McNamara and Nixon, these guys.
Yeah, they're just having fun. There's still a question mark over Luke Mitchison and Jacob O'Reilly there.
Yes, we didn't hear any resolution from that. But that is a great championship, though, to James Scott. He'd be pretty chuffed with that one, Scott, I think.
Yeah, he would be. He's been absolutely dominant all season. He has been a class of his own. And, you know, credit has to go to Robbie Gibbs and the team at ERT to be able to push James Scott for as long as what they did in this race, John. A phenomenal effort and really well driven. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing how, you know, both big teams and, you know, some big names in those teams. So I'm looking forward to see how they go as the Pro Series unfolds coming up. Not too far away either.
No, it starts next month, of course. Scops this weekend coming. So definitely some big times in the sim racing world as everything starts to kick off next month or next week. Pro Series qualifiers, we're about to finish off tomorrow night. So that's going to be interesting to see who gets themselves into the top 20 positions in that to give themselves a chance for a ticket. There's definitely plenty of motorsport to come, even though vets are in their mid-season hiatus or pre-season hiatus. Still plenty happening around the traps at the moment to keep your eyes on. Just going to wait.
There might be a couple of drivers, John, that we probably should give a shout out tonight. Ty Delaney from 20 position on the grid to P9. That's a fantastic result. And Anthony Visma, you know, rounding out a top 10 finish here at East Coast from P15. So that's they'll be stoked with that. That's two good drives off those guys.
Yeah, young Ty is definitely very, very methodical about how he goes about it. Very impressed with the way he tackles his racing. Like it's nothing too callous, nothing too over the top, all very methodically thought of when he makes a move. Yeah, he's done very well this evening to be up where he is, up 11 spots. And Alan Dawson, of course, our Super 2 winner, he has done very well as well. He's up 11 spots as well. But the first bloke we might talk to is Mr. James Scott. Congratulations on becoming the champion of Season 9.
Thanks, mate.
How did you find Fuji?
Yeah, I don't really know. I had done 0 laps before tonight, basically, and never really driven the V8 here. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really expect to have any good result tonight, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, the car was a pile of crap. But yeah, I just drove it as hard as I could.
No, you did well, mate. Robbie, you pushed him a bit there for a while.
I was trying to. I was a bit similar. I pretty much took the wing off right before the race, and didn't really have a whole lot of practice on that, but good fun nonetheless.
Yeah, it's an interesting circuit. Interesting circuit. We'll see how it goes tomorrow night with the qualifying series. Definitely going to involve a little bit of racecraft and thinking with the draft of how to work your way around people. It was interesting. You could see who had the higher wing and who had the lower wing, and both had opportunities around the circuit to get things done, which I thought was really, really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think there was, I don't know, it looked like there was a bit of a 50-50, yeah. Like, it looks like some guys are on basically full wing and then others with 0 wings.
Yes.
And I think there's a couple sort of, I don't know, look like it was a bit in between, so.
Yeah, but it makes for some interesting racing when it's like that. And of course, the other man who we haven't mentioned as well in his first outing here at East Coast in Synergy Sim Racing colours is Luke Mitchison. Congratulations, Luke, on making the podium.
Thanks, mate.
So tell us about the big change.
Yeah, changed teams now. Obviously, it's a pretty big change. I've been with Race Nods for quite a while, so it's it's good to have a fresh start. New voices,
Yep.
different setups and things. Yeah, it's gone off to a good start.
Oh, it's good, mate. You've done well. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just everyone really. Jordan Ross and all those guys for getting me prepared for this round.
Too easy. Robbie, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Logitech, as usual. I'll thank Brenton as well, even though I had him muted the whole race, but that's all right. To you guys for doing all the work you do.
Where do I find one of those mute Brenton buttons?
It's the big M on the keyboard.
Anyway, and James, anyone you want to give a shout out to, buddy?
Yeah, obviously all the guys at Lobby Sports, Speed Cafe, Ryko as well. Head over there and grab some setups. Definitely won't be uploading this bucket of garbage, but yeah, no, head over there and look at some data. You guys for the broadcast for the last whatever it is, 8 rounds of the season. So and the admin guys as well. Couldn't do without them.
Too easy, and of course, big shout out to Alan Dawson as well for winning our Super 2s. Not sure if Race Control Boys called him up here or not. And of course, a big shout out to Sean McNamara who wins our Veterans division as well. So great results across the board, and looking forward to seeing everybody back again next season. Next season, of course, following the officials, still running the 3-class late setup that we've been running this season, and really looking forward to seeing a few new faces that we got racing as well. And
Probably worth mentioning too, John, that both Sean and Jacob, I think they've got the golden ticket straight into Pro Series, mate. I think they've sealed that tonight.
Yes, they have actually. I was calculating the numbers on that before we got to the end. They have done really well. I think they should see a letter from Mr. Brenton very shortly for Mr. McNamara and Mr. O'Reilly. So great to have Vermeulen make the main game of the Pro Series. So it brings a new team to the table. And of course, there's a few other boys on that list that'll still be fighting pretty hard to get themselves a ticket with the qualifying series tomorrow night.
Yeah.
The other one, Scott, I was going to say, mate, a huge thank you for you for stepping up on short notice to fill the shoes of Mark, who's hopefully enjoying his holiday laying on a beach. So huge thank you to you, mate. Really appreciate you giving up your opportunity to drive.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's the second time I've been in here, and I enjoy doing the commentating with you. And you know, to watch Gibbo really push James Scott tonight. I know they both didn't have their best setups on, but that's probably the first time that I've seen James Scott get pushed like that through this series. So you know, that's how well Gibbo drove tonight. So that shouldn't be shouldn't be understated at all. And the Mitchison O'Reilly battle, that was fantastic to watch on track. And also the golden tickets, and also, yeah, like I said, Alan Dawson drove superbly, and there was quite a few others, Ty Delaney, Vismid, that we covered. And yeah, it was really good to watch them race on track, and congratulations to the podium get-togethers and those who picked up the division wins tonight. And thanks for having me, John. I really enjoyed it. Maybe we can get back in the booth a little bit more often, and you know, it makes up part of what sim racing is. And yeah, thank you. It's
been a pleasure, Scotty. Of course, want to thank Ash and Richie for the admin work they do. Want to thank Reg James, who couldn't be with us tonight because his internet provider decided to have a cable broken, and it's taken him 8 days to fix and still not fixed. Dave Worrell, of course, jumping in the race control as well and helping Rich Barella tonight. They're two very experienced guys in race control. Richie's been with the league now in the race control box in one way, shape, form or another now for pretty well much since the start of season 1 of East Coast. That's how long we've all been around. Dave Worrell, of course, very experienced real-life motorsport driver. Check him out at Easter at the 6 hour. he'll be definitely there having a real crack again like he did last year. And on that note, we'll wrap up what we call season 9 and look forward to seeing everybody again in season 10. Thanks for watching.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. Some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.